inside the final furlong and absolutely bolts into the lead. Law of the Sea from last place to first stays well, and the son of Golden Horn goes on to win.
Racel and Show Me a Sunset together. Show Me a Sunset now starting to assert. Show Me a Sunset win.
Almost Due is out in front. Almost Due wins.
Muhariba is gradually trying to get to Torbellino, is fighting it all the way to line. Muhariba is just in front now though, and Muhariba will do the business for Benoit de La Sayette and John Gosden.
It's a 2-length advantage for Hint of Stars, who heads towards the line, and it is Hint of Stars and Benoit de La Sayette to win.
And Defined has gone clear by over 2 lengths with another 100 to go. It's Defined and Benoit de La Sayette out in front, and not for catching today.
Okay, Benoit, you're a young man who's making a bit of a name for himself since you burst onto the scene only a couple of months ago. You've made quite a splash. You must be delighted with how things have gone for you so far.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I didn't think this would happen 2 months ago, really. I mean, it's all happened very quickly. I mean, very lucky, really, to have the people I've got behind me, the boss, obviously, and all the trainers that have given me wonderful horses to ride. So couldn't be more grateful.
Well, you mentioned the boss, of course. That's Mr. John Gosden, who you started out as apprentice to only last year. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've been there for about 3 years, obviously, because I was at school. I started off there from work experience, and I was just lucky enough to. I asked him if I could get my license out for him, and I was hoping he would advise me to go to another yard, like help me out to get to another yard, but he took me under his wing, and to be honest, I wasn't really expecting that. And I mean, it's been literally like 29 years since he had an apprentice, so for him to say that, it's just unbelievable.
So why did you say you expected him to advise you to go somewhere else? You just didn't think you'd be
Yeah, he's never had an apprentice in so long, so I was expecting him not really to, say, "Oh, yes, I'm more than happy to take you," but it's nicer to go to another yard, especially with someone like the boss, just to, say, "Oh, I would like to send this young kid to you." I had Andrew Balding in my mind, but obviously it happened, and it was a big day for me. So
just explain how you started then, because you were riding ponies to start with, is that right?
Yeah, so my first pony race was over in France at the age of 8. I had 3 rides, and then that was the summer of 2011, and then I came back to the UK, and I bought a pony, and I did my first race in the winter. So that it was the age of 9. You're allowed to start at the age of 9 in the UK, and obviously I was lucky enough to ride nice ponies in there, and I had about 70 odd winners over in the UK and France. So I was just lucky enough to have my 2 wonderful parents behind me, buying wonderful ponies, and to take me to France as well, because you can jump over there. So I was lucky enough to ride such nice ponies as well, and it's very good because it gives you sort of an idea before you step up to the big boys. So it helps a lot. It teaches you tactics as well. So I mean, it's a big difference because you don't really ride as a pack. It's the best pony wins, really, but at least it gives you a bit of an idea.
So do you think all that experience in pony races is what enabled you to hit the ground running?
Yes, it gave me a big step. I mean, you come to your first ride and you're not like, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do?" You have an idea of how everything works, and it really did help me. It really did help me.
So listen, you had your first ride just after Christmas, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think you've had 8 winners from 23 rides so far.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
I mean,
35% strike rate. That's pretty mean. That's pretty good. A lot of people are talking about you in a good way, which is great for you. Not so much for the likes of me and Robert Havlin, who are trying to hang in there. Has he been a help to you at John Gosden's?
Rab's an absolute legend. I mean, he took any time I ride for the boss and Rab's there, he takes me. I mean, Rab's a big help. I mean, to listen to Rab in the morning and the afternoon it's unbelievable. His information and his feedback after a piece of work is outstanding, and to have someone like that in the yard and to speak to you it's a big help. And any questions you need to ask, Rab's there, and it's an unbelievable man to have beside you. Was beside me, sorry.
And of course, Frankie Dettori. Have you spoken much to him? Have you ridden work with Frankie? Has he been a help?
I rode the last piece of work he rode in the yard. I rode with him before he went to Dubai. So Frankie's a big help as well. And any jockey in the yard, Nicky, Kieran, they're all big helps. I mean, any information that they say, it helps, and I'm just grateful because they could just turn around and say, they look at me as like, I don't know, it's not really a threat at this time, but they could, be the opposite and be horrible and dob me in and all that stuff. But they're a big help, and I'll be more grateful for them.
Tell us a bit about, I see you ride a winner for Kevin Philippe Defoy. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's good.
He's a friend of yours, is he?
Yes, obviously he was the old assistant of Fanjo, and to have him behind me, I mean, he's a very, for me in my eyes, he's a very big help, and to have him behind me is unbelievable. And I think he's a very, very one of the best trainers in the making. I mean, his strike rate's amazing, and he obviously knows what he's doing. I mean, and just to listen to him as well, after he's so humble and he listens to everything anyone's got to say, and he's got wonderful horses to ride. None of them are terrible rides. They're all lovely, and I mean, to have him behind me is very, very kind of him as well.
It's been a dream start for both of us, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You had one of your first winners was for him, his second winner. So you kind of got going a bit together, and you've both been labelled as future stars in the making.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that at the moment?
Well, it's a dream come true, really. I mean, I can't believe it's actually happened, to be fair. I mean, I'm speechless, really.
And how have you found, because it can be quite daunting going into you're 18 years of age, just going into the weighing room for the first time. It can, I had to go through it. It can be quite daunting. How have you found it?
Well, I'm quite quiet in there. I've got to agree. I mean, I get changed. I sit there and wait until my rides, but obviously most people just it's like a classroom, really. It's like when you're a new kid in the school, you're very quiet, and then you slowly start to fit in.
Yeah, you'll find your feet. Don't be too quiet. You need to be respectful, but make a name for yourself. You will find your feet that way. You've had no problems to start with, them.
No.
Okay, well, I've watched a few of your races. I have been impressed, because I thought I better find out who this kid is, because he sounds like everyone's talking about him. He's going to be pretty good. I did watch one of your races, which I'd like to talk to you about. A horse of John Gosden's called Muhariba.
Yeah, Muhariba, yeah.
You won on him at Kempton. I watched the race. It was only a small field, and I think I'm right in saying Adam Kirby was on the favourite. He made the running, and I think you just slotted in behind. You rode quite patient. But if I read it correctly, on the back straight, you seem to think that Adam was getting a little bit of an easy lead, and you tried to make a little bit of ground, and then you tried to, I think Adam was sat off the rail a little bit. I think you went to go up his inside. He seemed to look around and say something to you. Just explain what happened there.
Well, he didn't really say anything. It was after the race that he gave a bit of a taking off, but I didn't know. No one's ever told me. So it's at least it happened earlier on in my career. It didn't happen in a nice race or anything. But to have him tell me, eventually someone to tell me that you're not allowed to go on the inside, in the back straight. But obviously the filly was a bit gassy, and I was like, we weren't going a strong pace, and I wanted to improve the pace of the race, because I knew my filly didn't really have a turn of foot. So I was like, do I try and make a move here or not? But obviously I didn't really know that you're not allowed to do that. So,
well, you are actually, you can make progress. You can take a gap if there's one there big enough. It's kind of not so much a grey area, but he was slightly off the rail. There wasn't quite enough room for you to go where you went, but you did go there. But for me, it showed that you realised that the pace had slackened off. Adam was getting an easy lead in front. He was getting it all of his own way. And you decided you wanted to take closer order and move forward, which is a good thing. It looked like you realised that you'd made a mistake trying to go up his inside because there wasn't quite enough room there. And then so you took back again. But then quickly you went around and you were on Adam's shoulder turning in. So you didn't let him get away, did you?
No, I spoke to Nikki, because Nikki rode her the time before, and Rab rode her, I think, her first time out. So I asked Rab, I said, what's she like? And because I watched the videos, but I just wanted a little bit of a better idea of what she's like. And they said she's a filly that you don't want to, she takes a long time to get into stride. So I just wanted to make sure I was there and not get boxed in. The boss told me, he was like, make sure you're not on the rail. But I mean, I had to make my move. I mean, I was lucky enough. I had the chance to take that gap in the back straight behind Adam. If I didn't, I would have been taken out, I think, by the horse that William Carver was on.
Well, I thought it was a very good ride. I thought you showed tactical awareness to realise Adam was slowing up, albeit you tried to go for a daring run up the inside when there was not quite enough room. But I think you realised your mistake, and then you were quite patient and you took your time. And then in the straight, you kept your filly really well balanced. And I thought it was a great ride. Well done. And you'll learn from all these little things where, like I say, there's no rules. You can go wherever you want as long as there's enough room. But I thought it was a really good ride. I can see why people are talking about you now. So what are your ambitions then for this year? How do you see this year panning out? What do you hope to achieve?
Well, I just want to carry on what's happening at the minute. I mean, I'm riding nice horses in the morning and nice horses in the afternoon. That's all I want to do. Hopefully it carries on. So yeah. And
do you have a jockey coach that helps you?
Yeah, I've got Michael Tebbett. He's very, very helpful. So can't be more happy with him. I mean, I got to the racing school about once a week, twice a week, and for him to guide me. We talk through all the races I ride in, and to have an ex-jockey talking to you what you could change and everything. It's a big help.
He's a good guy, Tebby.
He is.
I rode with him when I was younger. He's a real good guy. He knows he'll steer you on the right path. And do you watch a lot of racing when you're not riding yourself? Do you watch other jockeys and pick things up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the racing. You can work out like why a jockey's doing this, and then obviously they talk about the ride afterwards, but the commentary on Racing UK and at the races, and also the interviews as well. I really enjoy watching jockeys interview, and it's a big help for when I get interviewed myself. you learn new information after, different jockeys talk about the horse. So it's a big help.
And when are we going to see you in action again? Are you riding the weekend?
I'm riding Muhariba at Lingfield on Saturday. So
Okay.
hopefully she'll win again.
Well, you'll remember what trying to get up Adams inside. And don't do that again unless there's enough room.
Yeah.
If there's enough room, just go for it. But if there isn't, well, listen, Benoit, I'm sure you've got a bright future ahead of you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you
Wish
very
you
much,
all the
Martin.
best of luck. You're definitely an apprentice jockey going forward, one to watch for
Hopefully.
for this year. So we wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Martin.